Hey.
Where did this kid come from, man?
Oh, yeah, we picked him up somewhere, man. We need to get rid of him. I think.
Thank y'all for following us. Thanks for watching. Today I'm working on trying to get this drip rail cut. I've got a little section there to get cut out so that it'll lay into the cab like it's supposed to. Where I left y'all on the part 4, we had the drip rail in, we had it kind of in the right place, but to get the right depth to where the drip rail matched, we're going to have to do a little trimming on the inner structure from the van. Took the back end out of the van drip rail so that it would set down in there. As you can see, the profile is a little bit different. This is the B pillar from the donor cab. This is also bump side, but that back side there is the van, and so that ties everything together. The roof's, it's fully tied together, front cab, back cab. We got a drip rail all the way down. We're going to have to trim a section out and replace it. The seam sealer really hides a lot of stuff, and I'm sure it'll hide a lot when we get done, but I can't put it back together with that rusty spot, because if not, it'll wave down it. But we got the drip rail pretty straight down the edge. Got our pieces welded in down through here. Like I said, we kind of pieced that together. We cut out the back section out of the van so that the drip rail and the inner structure would sit down in it. It does sleeve in, kind of as I had mentioned before. But what we done is we cut out the back so it would slide in there. I think y'all can see it there. So the van, this is the van piece right here, and this is the bump side part. And so what we done is we just slit the van and took off that section, and then this piece actually just lays right on top of the bump side inner structure, and that gives us our drip rail. We've got all of the bump part trimmed out, and as you can see on this one, the door frame progressively gets wider. You got a little wider gap right here, and that we kind of expected that, because these cabs, they run uphill anyway, and when you put a straight piece in, you end up with a gap back here at the back. But over here, you run into having too wide, like this wants to go up, So your drip rail, to get it down, what we done is we come in here and we made a relief cut here to let this sag down enough, and we'll still get our door gaps right. As you can see, still got plenty of room for a door gap. But that way you get a good straight drip rail, but you also end up with correcting this. We had to trim back most of the bump side here. It's a 53-inch piece. And so what we had to do is we've got a piece of roof patch material headed from Idaho. I went on the LMC truck and bought two 60-inch pieces. So that should cover this plenty. You know, it's 53 inches across, 60-inch patch piece. We got plenty of material to work with on both sides. We're gonna have a nice patch that'll come up and go over like this. And so we'll have all this patched in. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna figure out what roof skin we're gonna put in, lay it down, and weld it in. It'll all be just butt welded in all the way around. And we're making some headway here. The reason why we're modding this top door hinge is so that the window, which will be out to about here, will have room to roll up and down. If you don't, the window actually hits. That's the reason we can't put one piece windows on the front. I've cut this piece out, which is still hotter than freaking crap. So what I've done is I've come in here and I've cut this piece out like this. Okay, so you take that section out, and it's interfering with the window and all that mechanism. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna come back and trim off the lip here, most of this bracket really, and leaving that front piece, and then I'll come back and tack it back in once I've plated this in here and then this back this way, so that I've strengthened everything right back up where it needs to be. But basically that's the whole idea there, is just trying to get that to clearance for that window, and getting that's your bolt hole right here, this little square looking deal. That's your bolt hole for that hinge. You can see I've already cut, I have it deburred, I've already cut the hinge and trimmed it down, so it's only got 2 bolt holes now, and we should be ready to start putting the top half of the door on. as far as I'm getting tonight. Took a lot longer to get it fitted than I thought it was going to. But I've got it tacked in, mostly welded. Still got some stuff to clean up down here. You know, just kind of having to work around tacking. And then I've still got the inside to weld in here. But yeah, got that much done. All right, guys, so as y'all can see, I'm inside the cab here. This is the passenger side, the one we've been working on the most. So what I'm doing today, I'm trying to get this inner side panel, as you can see over here. That's what's left of that inside panel. This is from the front. This would be underneath the dash on that back cab. So what I'm doing is I'm coming in here and I'm taking all of these spot welds out and trying to get this piece off. And what I've had to do is this piece here, instead of cutting the spot welds, I'm just trimming it. And I'm not fully done trimming it yet. You can see it's sticking out just a little bit down here. Down at the base here, this is the back cross member on the front cab. And so what I'm doing is I'm gonna trim all this off, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back in on this piece, and I'm gonna put me a little short, little 90-degree piece here, flanged. Make a flange there to the same depth as this. Weld it down through here, and then what that will give me is that will give me something to weld this piece back onto my flat plate. And what that does is that'll reinforce this hinge, this door hinge. You know, you don't want the hinge flopping around inside of here. But I've got just enough room between this surface, the hinge, and then this surface. And then what I'll end up doing is taking one whole sheet of metal and laying it in here. It'll go all the way up here. And then as you can see up here where the factory, you've got this seam here. This is an overlapped edge. Let me show you over here. Like, actually, I think we cut it out over here. So we cut out a little further on that one. But on this one, you got this overlapped edge here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking spot welds out and pulling that overlap off. And that way, actually, I know what's wrong here is I don't have this other piece of B-pillar section in. That's why it's not there. Duh. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm taking these spot welds out, taking this panel loose, and as I pull this panel off, I'm able to make a new panel. More than likely, most of this inner structure will get, I'm probably going to cut it off and then flange it where I've got a spot to spot weld it. That way it reinforces that roof. And then I'm probably going to cut this off and you know, figure out, I'll probably end up running this new piece will come all the way up to here. I'm going to try to mimic this bead roll up here at the top, and then of course this flange. So I'm going to try to make it look as factory as possible. It's going to be a difficult panel to make, but it'll be a fun one. It'll be a good experiment. It'll be a really good one for me before we go to this outside one, because there's quite a bit of bead rolling to go down the sides on it. But all this will be on the inside, going all the way down. And then when I can get the cab up off the floor, once we finally get everything tied together enough to make it, you know, safe enough to pick up and move around, then I'll get it up and we'll finish tying in right down here at the bottom. And we'll be ready to start putting floor pans in this back section. But anyway, that's where we're at. Just a little bit more work to do on this and I'll be ready to start fabbing a panel. This will be my next piece to make. And then the next will be the flanged piece to go here, and then I start templating it out a flat panel to go in here to make this full shape. And y'all stick around. This is a fun part of it right here, is trying to get all this tied back together to make this one complete cab. Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed to the channel. We really appreciate it. Today I really want to reach out, thank one of y'all especially. This is Mr. Culpepper. Ryan Culpepper has sent us some tools, and man, do we ever need it. We've been over here dealing with this this Harbor Freight junk for a while, and I'm telling you what, this stuff is just not cutting it. If y'all saw us on one of the video my son over there, he was just grinding away and he was not having any luck getting anything done, you know. So this Harbor Freight junk, man, it's got to go. This stuff, this is where it's at. Mac Tools, thank you so much. This is so awesome, and I cannot tell you how much this is going to come in handy on this project.
I want to thank everybody for supporting us like they have, subscribing with me.
Thanks for watching us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
And stick around for the end. We got a little surprise for you. We got a little skit at the end, so definitely check that out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
Hey, what, man? What?
Hey.
Where did this kid come from, man?
Oh, yeah, we picked him up somewhere, man. We need to get rid of him. I think he's calling me Dad.
What?
We gotta get rid of him.
Well, I'd say, man. What?
There ain't no way,
What
man.
happened to the roof, man?
Oh. Oh, man.
What happened with that?
Speed.
Man, I can see the clouds.
Oh, look at all the clouds.